All right, so the solution to number 9 from Activity 1 in Unit 6. So we're going to start off by drawing a picture for this question. So essentially, I need an XY plane. In order to answer this. Don't need any numbers. Okay. All right, so when I look at this question, it's saying that the first train is traveling on a track on a bearing of 116 degrees. So bearing starts north and rotates. So I'm starting right at the top of the y-axis or wherever, and it rotates. So if I were to draw a circle, I'm going to erase this in a second so it doesn't confuse my diagram. When I hit the x-axis right here, I'm at 90 degrees. I need to go an extra 26 degrees so that I'm at a total of 116. So when I draw the line, I'm going to draw it roughly right here. Okay, now since we know that distance is equal to speed times time, if you're going at 95 kilometers per hour, you multiply by 3, we're going to end up with a value of 285. So this right here is 285. I also know that this here is 26 degrees. Now my other value, so my other train, so that train is going to start on a bearing of 271. So if I go from here to here, I'm at 90. All the way down, I'm at 180. Then I'm at 270. So 271 degrees is just past the axis. So that line, for this, oh, wow, that's not a line. So this is going to be right around here. We're going to pretend that it's a line. Okay. And by the same process over here, distance is equal to 80 multiplied by 3, which gives me 240. So this is going to be 240. I know this is 1 degree right here. Now, what we're looking for is the distance that's going to connect these two right here. Once again, we're going to pretend that it's straight. I have a side, and I have enough information to figure out this angle. So if this piece right here is 26 between the x-axis and the purple line, that means I have 64 in here. This is 90, and then we have 1 over here. That gives me a total angle, if I add them all together, of 115 degrees. Now that I have that information, I can use the cosine law. So x squared is going to equal 240 squared plus 285 squared minus 2 times 240 times 285 multiplied by the cosine of 155, sorry, not 15, so I can't add. So that's 155, 155, we'll make that adjustment here. When you use your calculator to figure that out, you're going to get an answer that's at about 513 kilometers. So anytime you're doing a question like this, the important part is that the bearing, you start north and you rotate clockwise. So it's a little bit different than when you learned how to draw angles on a grid in grade 11. Bearing notation starts from the north and goes clockwise. So hopefully that helps out here. Another thing I noticed on your assignment, Julia, is that when there was a question like, say, let's say cosine is equal to 0.866, you didn't really, you gave one answer only. So if I do cosine of theta equals 0.866, I'm just rewriting it, and then theta equals cosine to the -1 of 0.866. If you use your calculator, it's going to tell you that the answer is 30 degrees. However, if you remember your cast rule, cosine is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. So if this angle right here is 30 degrees, that means this angle right here is 30 degrees. So not only do we have 30 degrees as our answer, we also have 330 degrees as our answer. So there's going to be two answers for all of these questions. And the way that you're going to figure out which quadrants they're in is based on the CAST rule. So if you remember theta, this is going to be 180 minus theta. This will be 180 plus theta. And this would be 180, oh, sorry, not 180. 360 minus theta. So if we do one more like that, so let's say if we were looking for the tan of theta equals negative 0.707. So if I sketch that, tan is negative. So in the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So if you do this on your calculator, it's going to tell you the answer is negative 45. But we aren't using the negative values here. So that means theta is going to equal, so that's 45, this is 45. 180 degrees minus 45 is going to be one of my answers, which will be 135 degrees. And then theta 2 is going to be 360 minus 45 degrees to give me 315 degrees. So I hope that helps with this activity and going forward for your test. If you have any other questions, just send me an email.